Hello everyone, welcome to AJZ Studios. I just want to wish you all a very happy holiday season and a Merry Christmas for all who celebrate. And yeah, tonight I just wanted to make a video speaking upon John Cena's retirement match, which just took place tonight at Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C. And yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the show. Love the concept of the main roster talent taking on the NXT talent. I thought Sol Ruka, Obafemi, Javon Evans, and Leon Slater all did an awesome job. It was cool to see them have that platform and, for the most part, deliver. I thought everything was very enjoyable. A lot of my friends that are casuals, unknowns completely to all my friends, really enjoyed what they were seeing tonight. So that's a good sign. But yeah, we're here to speak on the main event. The main event was Gunther versus John Cena in what was John Cena's retirement match. We knew it was coming. We knew December 2025 was going to be Cena's, final match. We didn't know if it was going to be at the very end of the month or when it would be, but yeah, it was set for this evening for a while now, December 13, 2025. And yeah, they announced the tournament a while back. The last time is now tournament. Gunther won it. I think he was the correct choice. I think LA Knight would have been a good option. I think Drew McIntyre, if he had a different 2025, would have been a good option, but I don't know what they're doing with them right now, even with this run-in on the Cody and Obafemi match. Like, you're just making him look weak. Is he really contending for the WWE title with Cody? If you were going to give him the WWE title, why didn't he win it in the first match he had with Cody to carry it for the fall and winter and just drop it at the Royal Rumble to Cody back so that he can go into WrestleMania as champion? Now you seem to be prolonging this feud that's most likely going to lead to another match. I would assume Cody's going to win again because you're now going into the zone of WrestleMania season. Cody's obviously going to be going into WrestleMania as WWE champion. I can't see anyone else doing it. So yeah, I don't know what the thing is with Drew at this point. Like, he should have had a WWE title run in 2025 after a stellar 2024, the work with CM Punk, everything he did. It's well deserved, and it's unfortunate to see that they just did not have much for him this year as we approach the end of it. So yeah, discussion for another time. Definitely have a lot to talk to you guys about, whether that be WrestleMania 41, my experience that weekend, the upcoming WrestleMania 42, which I'll be attending. A lot to talk about, definitely, and those videos will be coming soon. And yeah, I had some videos posted of Survivor Series in San Diego. I was there, loved the show. I had a good time there in person. I know it wasn't well received by a lot of people who watched at home. I totally get that. When you're in person, it's a whole different experience. I was very close to the ring, so like, it definitely did make for a whole different perspective. Even the run-in from the masked man that seemingly was Austin Theory. Literally, I was like right next to the production crew, and there's a little tent. That's where he emerged from and just ran down right next to me. I was like the aisle seat. He literally ran right next to me, ran to the cage, got in, hit the stomp left, and then came right through me, like right through my section again to get back to that area. So just like being that close to all the action and even that finish of the War Games match, like, made that show much more enjoyable for me than what in reality it was. And there was a lot to be desired from that show that did not occur. But yeah, just putting that off to the side for now. The career of John Cena has been amazing. Like, he's meant a lot to so many people, including myself. He was never my favorite wrestler. Like, if you would ask me back in 2008, I would tell you Punk, Jeff Hardy, Shawn Michaels. Those are my three favorites at the time. And Cena was always there. I was always, like, he was the face of the company at the time I started watching. So naturally, I'm gonna be watching him. Like, I'm gonna be, I have to get into his stuff because he is the main event. And I never had hate for Cena. Like, there was a lot of hate for Cena at the time, and just kind of as the years went on, I enjoyed his work. Never really had anything against him. By the time, like, he started having the feud with Punk in 2011, and then I was there in person in 2013 for his match with Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. That is probably the best match I've seen of him in person. Got to see him wrestle several others throughout the years, whether that be Randy Orton a few times, whether that be Rusev, WrestleMania 31, my first WrestleMania, him and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice at WrestleMania 33 with the proposal from Cena to Nikki, that unfortunately didn't work out. But I'm happy that they're both in their own place at this point. So, but yeah, other than that, uh, Austin Theory, WrestleMania 39, that one wasn't too good. Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2021 was a very memorable match. Loved that one. And then yeah, I got to see him a good bit throughout this retirement tour. I was there at the Intuit Dome for the kickoff, where he pretty much just cut a promo indicating, like he's unsure on what he'll be able to accomplish, and then kind of pivoted to like, wait, like maybe I can win the Rumble, maybe I can get to WrestleMania and win the 17th title. And then that, led to him losing the Rumble, eventually winning the Chamber, and then turning heel, and we had all that go on. I was at WrestleMania 41, got to see him win the 17th title against Cody Rhodes in a match that I did not like. It was probably one of the worst matches I've seen in person. Nothing against Cody and John for that. I mean, like, it's a lot of factors went into making that match poor. And a big portion of it was the fact that they had to turn Cena heel before that match. Because if you go into that match as face versus face, I'm sure we're going to get something very similar to what we got at SummerSlam 2025, because Cena is going to be wrestling in a style that isn't trying to encompass this whole I'm looking to ruin wrestling for everyone character that he had since the heel turn, where like it just kind of did plague a lot of those matches in the first half of the year during that heel run, because yeah, I don't know, it's just definitely that match was the biggest disappointment I'd ever experienced as a wrestling fan in person. I'll say that much. WrestleMania 41, the main event between John Cena and Cody Rhodes. But following that, I saw him at Money in the Bank at the Intuit Dome. That show I just had a lot of fun with. I got great seats for like good price last minute. Loved the Intuit Dome. I think it's one of the best venues for wrestling. Like there's only been 2 shows there. I was at both of them, and I think that venue is excellent. I hope the WWE keeps going back there. As much as I love Staples Center, like Intuit Dome is the place to run wrestling. Yeah, that match, Logan Paul and Cena versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. Nothing too special there. It was cool to see Cody get the pin on Cena there, which eventually led to their SummerSlam match. But yeah, just another time seeing Cena wrestle. From there, didn't go to SummerSlam, didn't see him live until Survivor Series, where I got to see him lose the Intercontinental title to Dominic Mysterio. So kind of cool, saying I went to his second to last match. It was a cool moment, definitely being that up close. If you guys are able to check out the videos, I posted pretty recently. Definitely have more Survivor Series videos to post. I didn't take too many during that event, but I do have some that I will probably go ahead and post, especially of the men's War Games match. So yeah, that was the last time I ever saw John Cena in WWE ring, was a loss to Dominic Mysterio. He came in as a champion, lost his last ever championship, got to see that in person. So cool memory. Really thankful that I got to see that. And yeah, he went into tonight, no titles involved. It was just, this is Cena's last match, win or loss. And it was against Gunther. And I definitely think Gunther was one of the better choices. As I mentioned, again, him, Drew, LA Knight, could have been, a Punk or a AJ Styles if they hadn't ran it back earlier on in the year. But yeah, I feel like Gunther was the right choice. I think Gunther winning was the right choice. I really went into tonight thinking that Cena was going to win. It just seemed like, well, you got to send everyone home happy. You got to give him that final happy moment. But, I could just tell Cena didn't want to go out that way. I didn't expect him to tap out, to be honest. I thought it would be a pinfall victory. I thought it would potentially be a pass out, which does sound kind of not the way to go about it. I feel like a tap out makes more sense, because you're going to have him pass out and then have the whole post-match stuff. Like, I just feel like the way they executed it, it was interesting the way Cena had that facial expression prior to the tap out, where it was like a slight smile. Like, I didn't know how to perceive it at first. My friends were I have some friends over that are casual fans that, that they grew up watching Cena, so they wanted to be here for that. And they felt a little weirded out by that finish. They didn't get why it was done that way, why Cena just did not, like, why they, first off, they wanted Cena to win 100%. They were disappointed that Cena lost. But the whole, like, smile with the tap out, I guess my whole, like, analysis of it is just, it was kind of him, the guy that never gives up, finally reaching his limit at the very end of the line, and coming to terms that, now is the time. He has to give up, and he's content with it, and he has a smile on his face, and he's ready to retire. And just by the tap of his hands was and ended his career. That's my initial, not my initial, because my initial take was a little weirded out by it. Like, was that the right move? But after a few hours of digesting it and considering it, I thought it was a very nice finish. I love the fact that everyone. I was kind of expecting the whole backstage like roster and everyone, even I'm sure camera crew, anyone that was a friend of John, someone that was inspired by him. Like, I'm sure, like, a lot of the people back there are in the business because of him, especially the younger talent. It's kind of crazy, that surrounding the ring, giving him that one final standing ovation with the crowd, Punk and Cody coming to the ring, giving both of their world titles to Cena to hold on his shoulders and to raise up in the air. Thought that was a beautiful moment. They did have a photo of them all together while Cena was Intercontinental Champion. Thought that was such a cool photo, and it's just it was a nice moment, given the fact that Punk and Cody were around during Cena's peak as the face of the company in the 2007-ish to what, like 2013, 14. Like, Cena was pretty much that guy. Obviously before 2005 he won the title from JBL and eventually got to that position, but he was the face of the company during a lot of their early days of both Punk and Rhodes. So to kind of see them as the champions at this time, well, it's Cena calling curtains on his career, and then them giving him the love and respect that they have for him. I thought that was a cool moment to see. The crowd in DC hates Triple H, and a lot of like the chatter I'm seeing online, a lot of hate towards Triple H. I will say this, I'm very disappointed with how Triple H has managed WWE in 2025. It's a huge step down from what we got in 2023 and 2024, and I don't know if we'll ever reach those heights again. Time's gonna tell. 2026 I'm hopeful for. I'm still watching, I'm enjoying it. There are things I did not enjoy about this year. There are things that I did. Definitely more negative than positive, I would say, unfortunately, for this year, personally. But hopefully 2026 is a better year. I'm seeing a lot of people claim, like, we're leaving with Cena. This is Cena's last match. I'm not watching further on out. And I totally get that. My thing is, like, like, Cena wasn't my number one guy, but he was the number one guy for a lot of you, for a lot of people that grew up watching wrestling, that still watch wrestling up until today. So if this was it for them, I totally respect and understand that, because I'm kind of pondering with myself on, how long am I going to be into this? I've been going to so many events over the last few years. It's been such a blessing, and I love the fact that Punk is back. I love that he's there. You can call him a hypocrite. You can call the fact that he made fun of the 2-night WrestleMania format while in AEW, and then came back and because of that format got the main event. Many other things. You can claim those things, but at the end of the day, this guy's my favorite wrestler, and I did not get to see him for 7 years. Well, and 9 years technically not in the WWE. I love this stuff in AEW, but him in WWE. WWE was his home. I'm glad he ended up back there. I'm glad he made amends with Triple H. These little things just have me so joyous, and it's like that gap that he was gone. Rollins filled the gap for me. He made that time so special for me. And not like it really, for me, like, I never thought I would see Punk back in the WWE ring. So now that he's here, Rollins is, I don't know how much longer Rollins is going to be around. This injury that he just got, it's so unfortunate. He's dealt with so many knee and back injuries over the years, to now have to deal with this. Like, it's a whole new thing for him. So I'm wishing the best for him. If he retires in the next year or two, I would totally get that. Like, it's definitely, he has a family. He has, he's done it all really at this point. And kind of just going back to the thought of, like, people, completely being done with WWE and watching pro wrestling as a whole, whether that be AEW, WWE, anything else, because of John Cena's retirement. Like, I get that aspect, because I think for myself, when Punk and Rollins are gone, hopefully I can end up being at both of their retirement matches whenever, wherever they are, whoever they're against. I aim to be there, because those two are my favorite wrestlers of all time. When they're both gone, um, when Cody's gone too, because Cody is someone where, like, he came into the WWE pretty much like within the same time frame I started watching. Summer 2007 was when Cody became like a pretty much a mainstay on Raw. With the whole thing with Randy Orton, Dusty Rhodes, and then eventually Hardcore Holly, all that. Cody was pretty much someone that I had been watching since the start of his career. Got to see him, at least I got to see him once he left WWE, at a New Japan show in Long Beach, California. That Strong Style Evolved. It was cool to see him because I hadn't seen Cody probably since, uh, it's like maybe WrestleMania 31, maybe a Raw in like 2016. But that was a cool experience. The fact that I got to see him at WrestleMania 39, in the main event, after, like, that, just crazy. Like, I'm seeing him at a small venue in Long Beach, and then now I'm seeing him at like the biggest venue in Los Angeles, main eventing against Roman Reigns, losing that match, but hated it in the moment, was very disappointed, but followed that up with seeing what I saw at WrestleMania 40, and that made it all up. It really saved the legacy of the WrestleMania 39 match, and I got an all time moment. I think WrestleMania 40, that main event on Sunday, and just overall, like, WrestleMania 40 was so special. That was the peak of professional wrestling for me. Loved everything about it, and yeah, like, again, like I said, 2025 really took a big step down. A lot of things disappointed me, but at the same time, like, I'm still seeing all time moments from Cody, from Seth, from Punk. Like I said, Punk's main event, Rollins winning Money in the Bank, the cash in. Well, wasn't in person for every single one of these, but I can enjoy these on TV. Like Rollins cash in. I got to see that, with a few friends, and it was such a cool moment witnessing that after being there in person 10 years prior for the heist of the century in Santa Clara, at WrestleMania 31. Thankfully I got to see Rollins win the Money in the Bank, his second Money in the Bank, in Los Angeles. So that was awesome. Cody, had a pretty solid year. Definitely, I thought the SummerSlam match with Cena was his best of the year, and it was excellent. It was an all-time match. Uh, I'm excited to see where these guys go in the next few years, but realistically, once they're all out, I'll follow the product on occasion. I may watch a show here or there, but I'm not going to be going to events. I'm not going to be spending the money on this because, like, I go now because I want to see those guys mainly. I want to enjoy the end of their careers, even though I know, like Cody may have some more time than others. Like, it's hard to say, right? I definitely think at the most there's like maybe 4 or 5 years left, but that's me as a fan speculating. I don't know what to expect. So, you know, like, Seth seems like he is slowly coming to terms with the end being near. Cody, no real thought of it yet. He is the face of the company, so I would imagine, you know, at least several more years of him at in this position, for sure. And Punk, God forbid, don't want any injuries coming to him. If he can avoid injury, if he can stay healthy, I definitely think he has several years left in him too. So, again, once they're out, I may have to reassess. Like, am I gonna be going to shows? Am I gonna be tuning into Raw as often as I do, now? Am I gonna be watching PLEs? Like, most likely not, but I'll still enjoy it. I'll still go, and the beauty of it all is that the past exists. The past is something we can go back and enjoy. I can watch those moments and enjoy professional wrestling as I loved it. I don't have to watch the main product to enjoy it. So, for you guys, that tonight was really the end of your wrestling fandom, like, I get that. You have a whole career of John Cena's that you can go back and enjoy, and love those moments. And that is what's special to you. That is what made you a fan. That is what you will, continue to reflect on, that you will show your loved ones. That person, those moments, what wrestling means to you is encompassed in what was John Cena's career. If tonight was it for you, I salute you. I think, make the decision that fits what you want. You're not like a slave to pro wrestling. None of us are. Like let's enjoy this medium for what it is. Let's have fun with it. Let's make memories, meet cool people, which thankfully I have done over the years, and it's been a great time. And yeah, get what you want from it, get what you need from it, and move on at the right time if the time does come. But also, if you're someone that, no matter who is there, if you want to be around for the long-term careers of everyone that you just saw from NXT, that was on this show tonight, and you want to see these guys in main events of WrestleMania, um that's something that you want to do, and like that's totally understandable. You still enjoy the current product. So yeah, with all that being said, tonight was a very emotional night for a lot of people. For me, it is pretty emotional. Like this is the guy that was the guy when I started watching professional wrestling, and he finally, you know he's done. It was his final match. He went out with the loss, with the submission loss. Got the love and respect from the fans he deserved. It was surreal seeing, or not seeing, sorry, but hearing "Let's Go Cena" chants and "No Cena Sucks" following it. Which I know, like, I don't know if we've been getting that as much since he turned face again for the second portion, but like just tonight, no one was there to hate on Cena. Everyone was there for Cena. People paid their money to see Cena that night or tonight. And again, it could have ended with the win. It could have ended with the loss. This is predetermined entertainment at the end of the day. We love it for what it is. It's enjoyable. It's great. John Cena winning or losing didn't matter at all, and it was his choice. We know for a fact this wasn't a Triple H choice. As much as I'm very disappointed with how he handled a lot of stuff this year, this was a John Cena decision. I can't fully confirm. I'm not the source to ask, but it's very obvious that with someone with his level of contributions to the business and outside of the business, just speaking of like of everything he's done, and that we're aware of what he's done, they would not allow him to not have a say in what the result of his final match would be. And I think he made that decision to tap out and for it to go exactly like how it did. And it was a celebrated night. It was kind of cool seeing so many people, like the likes of like Tom Brady and like others, like just speaking on him and giving a thank you to him. Like he is the face of the 21st century of professional wrestling. When you think about it, like Rock and Austin were the face of the late 90s, and they were around for the early 2000s, of course. But when you think of professional wrestling and all the kids that grew up in the early 2000s, going into elementary school in the mid 2000s, around that time frame, a lot of them grew up with John Cena being that guy. And I was one of those people that he was that guy. He was never my guy 100%. But I always had a love and respect for him that was unmatched, because the way he presented himself, you hear the stories of his work ethic, and but you see it throughout the years, the Make-A-Wish stuff, everything he's done in the ring, outside the ring. He's improved his improved in-ring skills that kind of kicked in the 2010s, like all those things. Like you see that work effort, and you become a fan of him, and I've been a fan of him, and I'm very thankful to have experienced that career and watching that, and being able to finally see the conclusion of it tonight. It's sad to see. We'll never see another John Cena match live again. But everything has to come to an end at some point, and this was I think a beautiful ending to a great career. So John Cena, wish you all the best in retirement, and thank you for all the years of memories. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm looking forward to making more videos, especially speaking upon this past WrestleMania and the upcoming WrestleMania. Definitely want to do that as soon as possible. Just been really busy with work and several other obligations to make the time, but I'm hopeful that I will be able to get some content out, because I do understand that there are going to be people coming to WrestleMania, coming to Vegas for the first time, that did not attend this previous year. And I'd made a video speaking upon tips for going to Vegas and going to WrestleMania prior to WrestleMania 41, but now after coming after, you know, coming off of that event, you know, wanting to actually give my thoughts on Vegas as a host city, how all these certain events that occurred throughout the weekend actually went. I definitely want to give my thoughts on those, and what may be the best course of action as we lead into WrestleMania season, and prepare for that trip to Vegas. So yeah, please tune in for that, guys. Again, thank you so much for all your support. Just viewing my videos, checking this one out, especially. Uh, yeah, you know, definitely, if you're new to the channel, please feel free to just look over my videos if you want to see some cool, you know, videos of entrances and moments from various shows I've attended, and also some discussion videos. Just a few out there if you would like to take a look. Whether that be, you know, my experience attending the Raw on Netflix debut at Intuit Dome, and the on location package I purchased. Uh, that's a video from the start of the year, start of 2025. If you'd like to take a look at that. And yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave comments on your thoughts on tonight and just the overall career of John Cena and what he meant to you. Please subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, look forward to more content. And I thank you guys again. This is AJZ Studio signing out. And thank you guys again. Happy holidays and a Merry Christmas to all.